Good evening and welcome to the February 24th, 2026 meeting of the Scottsdale Union Free School District Board of Education. And ask that you rise and take the pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 2.01 of our agenda this evening is internal audit risk assessment report. We have a guest to present.
Good evening, everyone. So my name is Jennifer George from RBT CPAs, and my firm is the internal auditor for the district. We put together a report, two reports for the board to look at. One was the internal audit risk assessment. The other was a focus area on extra classroom. High level, we had some recommendations regarding some policies, some additional information that should be posted on the website, some considerations for contingency plans, and also some cross-training opportunities. On the extra classroom side, we did not identify any issues as far as the financial information. Again, we had some recommendations for policies, and then also recommending that the district adopt a standard form for fundraising approvals, middle school and the high school. And that is the high-level review.
Any discussion on that? With that, we'll move on to 3.01, that's comments from the public on consent agenda items only. Public comments? Any board comments or questions on the consent agenda? With that, I'll entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda as written. Do we have a second? All in favor? That passes 4-0.
With the passing of the consent agenda, the acceptance agenda of one of our administrators, Mr. Doherty, walk out.
He knew.
Well, all right then. Mr. Doherty has some prepared words for Dustin, but as we wait for him, we just want to congratulate you. This has done so much for us, especially you started out maybe more of a part-time position, but you did so well, and we to help even more that you worked up all the way to full-time. Appreciate your willingness to keep wanting to do that, and just showing your true value to us all the time, especially the last few years. I know Mr. Doherty was very instrumental in expressing for that. So, Mr. Doherty, we were just waiting for you to come back.
Sorry, I
was
thought I had a little more time. Well, good evening, everybody. And Dustin, Dr. Fanuelli asked if I could say a few words, and I wanted to say, I'll keep it to a few. But, you know, as probably many of you know, either as parents or as students, that an assistant principal is a very unique position in schools, and it is not an easy position. Dustin started with us back in 2019, which was the year that COVID hit. So he came in right in the middle of a really difficult year, and he has been, for me, just such a great partner. Assistant principals are unsung heroes. You know, people, those are the phone calls that parents don't want to get. Those are difficult conversations, and Dustin just does an amazing job with it. I mean, when I think of Dustin, different than me, Dustin stays calm and cool, like pretty much all the time. You know, I have my moments, but Dustin, he's always stays calm. He's very methodical. He's friendly. He's thorough with what he does. And for a principal, having an assistant principal who's effective and who knows how to connect with students, connect with parents, connect with his community is really important. Dustin has also been a leader in many ways at Todd Middle School with me, whether it's the Positivity Project, the AVID program, he's brought in Smart Pass, he leads our community connections. He has just done an amazing job. And, Dustin also has a coaching background, and that comes in handy for his relationships with students. And also he's been a coach for us in the district. And I am just so thrilled that he's getting tenure. And I am thrilled that I've been able to watch him grow as an administrator, watch him grow as a person. He became a father during his tenure here, and watching all that personal stuff for him has been an amazing journey too. So, Dustin, congratulations on your tenure.
Thank you. You get this, Dustin?
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I captured everything.
I'll just say thank you for all your service to the district. We appreciate all that you do. And some nice words from Mr. Doherty there, so we appreciate that personal touch. It's one of the things that makes Spectacle such a great place. Okay, with that, I'm going to move on to item 5.01. It's the first reading of policy 3137, which is our credit cards and charge cards policy. Any board discussion, comments, questions, concerns? Okay, I don't have any either, so, first reading, I don't have to resolve anything. Okay. So with that then, I guess we'll move on to 7.01, which is a budget update from our business administrator. Is there anything associated with it?
So 5.01 is on the business, it's not on the consent agenda, so I apologize.
Okay.
Yes, I got that.
Okay, no problem. Thanks for clarifying. Appreciate it. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to accept the first reading of policy 3137, credit cards and charge cards. Do you have a second? All in favor? And that passes 3-0. Okay, with that, I'll move on to 701, a budget update from our business administrator.
Thank you very much. This is going to be a very short discussion for the 26-27 budget. First, we'll recap where we are with the current year. Then we'll go into some of the assumptions that are going into the preparation of the 26-27 budget, including a description of the vehicle that we're looking, the utility vehicle that we're looking to replace, and the vehicle that we are looking to purchase to replace it. Recapping the current year, the current year's budget is $57,158,788, which represents a 5.99% increase over the 24-25 budget. The tax levy to support the current year's budget is $33,665,757, which represents an increase of 1.75% over the tax levy for the 24-25 school year. some of the assumptions that are going into the 26-27 budget are salaries, which are dictated by the existing collective bargaining agreement, and there will be some estimates for the contracts that will be ending for June of 2026. Anticipating an increase in BOCES services of 5 to 8%, and that's in line with historical trends. Anticipating an increase of contracted transportation, again, based on historical trends, and it's typically been somewhere between an increase of 6 to 8% annually. Same for the special education tuition increases, again, somewhere in that 6 to 8% range. Health insurance, a little bit better than the last presentation. It's now estimated to be somewhere between 10 and 15%. We'll get the final premiums hopefully within the next month and solidify that number a little bit. Don't anticipate any debt service borrowing in the next school year. And like I stated, we're looking to replace one facility here. Some additional considerations is we're looking to add probably one psychologist so that we would have one psychologist per building. We're doing some adjustments to salaries and per diem rates to reflect the anticipated increase in minimum wage that will probably take effect January 1 of 2027. So we want to be a little bit ahead of the game and put that in the budget. Definitely replace some older and damaged facilities equipment, classroom maintenance and repairs, window shades, furniture, smart boards, and also some of the maintenance on our HVAC systems with the heating systems and air conditioning. That's become a fairly expensive proposition to maintain those things because they are getting older and they do require a lot of time and attention. Instructional needs, textbooks, hardware, software, increasingly more software in addition to the textbooks. So usually there's a software component when we need licensing for the students and for the teachers. And there's also some hard copy textbooks and workbooks that are associated with that software. So that's some of the increased costs that we're looking at. The technology, data security is always a big thing. We're looking at that. Software subscriptions, again, the annual subscriptions increase from year to year, so we're looking at some increases for those as well. We're looking to replace a 2004 450 dump truck. Although it's only got 60,000 miles on it, it's got some body damage. The toe hitch is rotting through the frame, and you can see the overall frame deterioration just from the constant use. What we're looking to replace it with is a 2026 Chevy 3500 pickup truck. Right now, we've got an estimate for state contract of approximately $75,000 to replace that truck. Ongoing, upcoming board presentation. March 10th will be the draft budget discussion. At that point, I will be presenting draft numbers of what the budget looks like, what the tax levy will look like. Usually we talk about the 5 or 6 big items that compose 85% of the budget, so there'll be numbers associated with that. The following meeting on the 24th, Dr. Samueli will present the recommended budget. On April 14th, we will be asking the board to adopt the recommended budget. On May 5th, we are required by law to have a public hearing on the budget, which we will have. May 19th is the budget vote, and we will be electing one trustee. Information for people who want to run for trustee is on the website, and they can pick up an application and information from our board clerk.
Dare I ask about the insurance?
That's also in there, the insurance. Oh, health insurance or liability
Health
insurance?
insurance, That's a different number than we heard last time.
It is a different number. We had came back with a lower number. We would find that it's still a significant increase from what we've seen in the past. Usually what we've seen in the past is somewhere between 5 and 8%. We're still looking at a minimum of 10% going forward. That's just one policy. We have 2 other insurance carriers, which are primarily for our retirees, and they come in with premium increases of just under 10% as well. So it seems to be, no matter which insurance company that you use, we're looking at double-digit increases, at least for the coming year.
It was good news. It's kind of to look at it. Carefully, but
It's still, and the anticipation is that we might be looking at those double-digit increases going forward, based on what people are doing. It's almost double, we were looking at 18, 19%.
good news.
This is exactly what I did. Okay. Thank you. Any other questions on this one?
I like that we tried to stay very low with our increase every year. The 1.75, it's definitely in line with what we've been doing for the past couple of years. There's still a very low amount, which I appreciate. But with us having a significant amount each year that we're putting into our reserve funds, continuing to increase to only 597, I'm wondering, my tax bill up is very low for us. So there's a way for us to get it any lower than it is. I know we're probably not going to have a negative number there. 1.75 is already pretty low. But it's possible for us to get it lower than we're at.
It would be, in the long run, the lower we make the levy, eventually it's gonna come back to us and we'll have to have a very big increase in 1 year. So that's why the district's philosophy is going to try to keep it as steady as we can so we don't have these large fluctuations with the tax levy.
And I get that. I've been supported that for the past couple of years. I think that makes a lot of sense. But I just wanted to think ways that we can do it with this budget to get it any lower with everything being more expensive the way it is now. Through inflation and taxes, everybody's wallets, things are more expensive. So any help there of getting us to the lowest price possible. Some of them, if we're repairing older damaged facility equipment, we're able to do that with our current reserve fund versus putting into next year's budget. Or classroom maintenance repairs, that's something that can come from, repair reserve fund. Because that's something that can be covered under some of the money that we have saved over the years to help us keep it slower.
For the larger scale repairs, we could definitely do some of that through the repair reserve. The kinds of things that are in the budget are just kind of the more extreme things. The repair reserve is usually for non-routine maintenance. So it's a one-time thing, like if we need a major repair to one of the boilers, that's not an annual thing, that would use the repair reserve. But to come out and have our contractors look at the boilers for the annual inspection, which is kind of replace routine parts, that has to be done through the budget. It's not a repair reserve eligible item.
For replacing furniture, smart boards, or window shades that are set up here, that can be covered for some of the funds we can save in the years.
What we will do in one of the revenue pieces of the budget besides the tax levy and state aid is what's called appropriated fund balance. And what that is for excess at the end of the school year, we can appropriate that for next year's budget in lieu of putting as much money in reserves. So that's something that I have put into the calculation for the revenue piece to cover these expenses is increasing the appropriated balance from this year and applying it to next year. And that's one of the ways that we can help people levy low is with that appropriate.
And the last part, the truck is not something, it's not kind of very students, so we never have to worry about replacing it with an electric or anything
No,
like that.
no, that is the maintenance truck, it's not gonna cost.
Yeah, so we just want to make sure we're not going to
Mm.
truck.
2035. No, 35. Yes. Yes, right now it's 2027. Has to be the last year we provide field-based student transportation. So we have 2 more years. We're not doing it this year. We're gonna evaluate the fleet to see if we need to do anything just to get us to that hurdle of 2035 in case it stays 2035.
Thinking that topic is broached, have you had any conversations with transportation providers to see what type of increases they might be passing on to us?
They won't admit that to me yet, but they are doing the assessment to see what it's gonna take to convert this fleet. That piece, I've had conversations with them, so they are doing the preliminary work to see what's gonna look like for them. No, it would not be a significant increase.
With that, we'll bring it to 7.02, elementary administration update.
All right, good evening, everyone. Do have a few updates, and I'll start off with we are entering into the beginning of our what we call kindergarten season, where we really try to get our new kindergarten families and students in as many times as we can before they're actually students at Nassau. So next week we actually have our kindergarten registration, and that's an opportunity before kindergarten screening, where we allow parents to choose whether they want a meeting with me with or without their students. And that's kind of based off of their own comfort level and any questions that they may have. Then in April, we have our kindergarten screening. And immediately after that, we begin our placement process. And we actually meet with our Martha Lawrence teachers across the way, and that's been really valuable for us over the last few years. Another thing that we have is the book fair. We've turned into our buddy day, where the pre-K students come over and they shadow a kindergarten students, and they kind of walk through their schedule for the day. And then lastly, a big favorite of people that happens either the last week of June or the first week of July is our kindergarten academy. So when all is said and done, we are kicking off a couple months here where we'll see our future kindergarten students 4 times. The second thing that I wanted to just touch base on, I know Dr. Fanuelli has talked about AI quite a bit, and it's one of our goals. And so the way it works is Mr. D'Souza and I have created building goals, kind of connected to the board goals. And so March 13th, we have a superintendent's conference day coming up, and we were able to take the survey data that came out of Mr. Farrell's office and kind of tailor a professional development plan for our teachers, which we're really excited about. Marcella Byrne, which I know we've spoken about quite a bit, she's incredible, and she sorted the data. Hagen's data was similar to Nassau, but with some nuances and some differences. So we basically picked the top 6 areas that teachers felt that they would like support in, and we are on the conference day giving them opportunities to choose 3 of those areas, so tailored even within those 6 spots to the individual teacher's decision. So excited about that. Some of the areas that we're offering PD, assessment redesign, curriculum design, differentiation. My favorite one, which is we have it labeled as instructional brainstorming, but we talk about at admin meetings, we talk about quite a bit about how we're utilizing AI, and one of the concepts that I kind of have a reputation for using is called sparring, where you're actually arguing with AI about a problem, and they give different solutions, and you go back and forth to try to make better decisions. So I'm excited to see what Marcella has planned for that as well. Catherine Martinko, we had I think a few board members. I know Mrs. Perry was there, I saw her. I thought her presentation was spectacular. I've seen her live twice, and then I even watched with my wife and my oldest son, who's 12, the recording. We had really good attendance. I think we would have been happy with 75, and we think we had close to 100. Mr. D'Souza believes that his face was on at the start, and all the principals spoke, and he really takes a lot of credit for that. But really great message, and connected to our work with the anxious generation. And then really the last thing that I don't think we've talked about it since last spring when we proposed the idea of trimesters at the elementary level, K-5. But I just wanted to follow up with the board, because it is kind of a different cadence, if you will, to the year. We've been quarters forever, and the feedback that we've received from teachers in regard to, and teachers at Nassau are extremely data driven, but the cycle of constant assessment for our youngest kids was even a bit too much for them. So really positive feedback. Just wanted to follow up with the board, more instructional time, which was our number one goal. So thank you for your support with that as well.
Good evening, everyone. So last time we were at the board, it was the night before our spelling bee. So update there, we did have a 5th grade young man by the name of Rayford Zasek, who became our school bee champion. His winning word was equestrian, so pretty impressive. The more impressive piece was the regional qualifier, which is an online exam, essentially a timed exam where it locks your computer screen and you have to rapid fire spell and define many words that I've never heard of before. They give you 50 questions. He got 40 out of 50 right, which in my experience with spelling bee champions at Hagen was the most. He just missed the cutoff to go to the regional qualifier. I think it was 42. So we're really proud of him. He put a lot of effort and energy in. His cousin at a school in Rochester was the school bee champion. So he was excited to go into the regional with his cousin. Neither his cousin or himself made it, but really proud of what Rayford did. We are also kind of just wrapping up our iReady winter diagnostic. So I know Mr. Lynch just talked about trimesters. It does sync well in the fact that we give our iReady diagnostic 3 times a year. So we're really excited about the midpoint data. Me and Mr. Lynch have data chats with our teachers to talk about where the kids have shown growth, where the kids may not show growth, and what we can pivot to or strategize for the remainder of the year going into June. So really important conversations around student data there. And things to look forward to. So a lot of things are coming down the pike here. Our Odyssey of the Mind teams, both Todd and Hagen teams, compete this Saturday at Goshen. So they've put a lot of time, energy, passion, sweat, and laughs into their skits and their structures. So our teams always perform well there. We're really excited to send our teams this year. And thank you to the parent volunteers that make all those teams possible. It is running team season, so that's starting up very soon, which hopefully with this snow, we'll be able to get out there and run pretty soon. But that sign up is open now. Last time I checked, it was open for a week and we had 80 students already signed up. So we seem to outdo ourselves every year. I expect nothing less this year. Coming up in March, we do go to the high school. They put on an in-school concert performance for us. There are ensembles up there. That's coming up March 18th, and it's always a great day. Literally 10 buses take all of Hagen up to the high school. We could walk, but we're right there. And it's a great show that they put on for the kids and the staff.
We also, for the first time in many, many years, are doing a play of our own. We're doing Matilda Jr. That is going to be the shows of March 26th and March 27th going into spring break. They put a lot of time and energy into practicing. There's a lot of moving parts at a stage like Hagen that hasn't been really, I found the lights today. I was very proud of myself. She's like, do you know how to work these lights? You're asking the wrong guy, but I figured it out. So we have working lights, we have working sound, and we're really excited. We have over 45 kids in the play. So they've put a lot of time and practice. So I'm really excited for what they can do there. And then always good to give a little update on Let Grow. So I got a leaf across my desk that made me chuckle, but also made me really proud. We had a 4th grade student, and their project for this month was to make their lunch every day, right? So they bring lunch, probably their parents pack their lunch every day. But the best part of the leaf is, what did you learn? And she goes, her response was, I learned that my parents have a really hard job. So, you know, it's those kind of experiences and reflections for a 4th grader to realize, that's not easy to have lunch expected every day of you. And hopefully she continues to do that every month forward. And then trips coming up. We have Sharp coming up in May. The 4th grade always goes to Albany, and the Bronx Zoo for the 3rd grade. So it's getting into the busy season for sure. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Appreciate the update. So item 8.01 is board correspondence. We have a number of emails with regard to a student issue that is being addressed by our administration. We have a few emails with regard to a FOIL request that were addressed by our district clerk and the administration. And we also received an email from a student with regard to recent improvements noted in the school lunch and food program, which is nice to hear. I know we've all been pushing for that over here on the board side, and it's nice to see and hear about improvements affecting our students every day. Item 8.02 is comments from the public on non-agenda items. Do we have any public comments on non-agenda items? Okay, with that, 8.03 comments from the board. Do you have any comments from the board? Okay, you want to talk about the food program?
I know it's different. There's definitely been more of a drive to differentiate the food program, and then it was really cool. Last week I think it was in that also working with a mirror-based food that was insane. So I definitely noticed that.
Great. Anything else? Anything else you want to add? Any other board members? I guess I'll just mention one thing. As we approach the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, the other night at the varsity boys basketball game for senior night, we had one of our students sing the national anthem, and it was beautiful. She did an absolutely amazing job, goosebumps. I felt so proud to be Spack Hill, so proud to be American. It was just a great start to that basketball game. Just, I can't say enough. Wonderful. With that, I'm going to pass it on over to 8.04 comments from our superintendent.
Good segue. Our sports teams are in that playoff over the years, so we wish them luck. There's a game tonight that Claire would have been at, but she came there for her other duties, so we appreciate you doing that and continue to support our team. We have been affected by weather. Just kind of be aware, it's remind people of the process. We subscribe to a weather service, to our area facilities people, and superintendents to really try to target our area and to keep everyone safe. So a lot of times, early morning phone call is to try to get it right before update. We have been, I won't say lucky, but we have been able to call some the night before. Really isn't the norm, but it seems to be happening a little bit more lately. But usually the calls are really able to be decided until early morning. So appreciate everyone's patience, and from what the reports say, I don't think we're done yet for the school year. We can only hope, but maybe when we get into March, soon we'll find that. Just appreciate everyone's patience and understanding.
Great, thank you. Item 9.01, the board will vote to enter into executive session to seek legal advice and discuss proposed pending or current litigation. Both matters are protected by attorney-client privilege. Board member Richard Horvath will join the executive session via teleconference. Following the executive session, the board is not anticipating conducting any further business. I have a motion to enter into executive session. Do I have a second? All in favor? Passes 4-0. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Board inspection, closing.